Hi everyone, it's Sherry Carroll here with Hero Arts, here to show you how to make some paper flowers. I've created a bunch of flowers and put them with wire into a little vase, and they can last all summer long. To get started, I have the pot flower design, the flower and the matching die cut, and I'll be using those. And I've also chosen some great Studio Calico papers. We also have some fabulous basic gray papers. So this is very basic. I'll be using Versamark ink for the entire process, and I'll go ahead and ink this up really well. Once I have that inked, I can go ahead and stamp this onto about a 3.5 by 3.5 piece of paper. So I'll press that in really good, release it. And for these flowers, I'm going to be using clear embossing powder. I want to keep the pattern of the paper pristine, so I'll just go ahead and sprinkle the clear powder on here, and this will just give me a really nice clear embossed area of the paper, so you can kind of see that powder sitting on the paper there. Now I'll go ahead and heat set this, and this is where the magic happens with embossing powder. So it'll start to turn shiny, and it turns the paper just a bit darker than the original shade. You can start to see it happen now. Now I'll turn that around, it gets kind of hot. So now you can start to see the shape of the flower. Once I have all my flowers embossed, as you can see, I chose a bunch of different patterns and different colors. I'll be using my die cut. And I like to secure my die cut onto my paper with painter's tape. This is like a reposition type tape, almost like a post-it note, but in a roll form. Love this. It doesn't tear the paper when you go to release it. So I'll line up the die cut onto the stamped image, and then I'll just go ahead and put my tape on top in a couple spots. And now this is ready to die cut. So my platforms that I'll be using is the full Sizzix platform, one plate, put my die cut in, and put another plate on top. So go ahead and adjust those and run it through the machine. These cut really well, and you can also cut through 2 sheets of paper if you wanted to make extra flowers, but it might be hard to line up your image that you've already stamped. So to release this, I just kind of press the flower through the die cut, and there I have a paper flower. So I've gone ahead and cut out all my flowers that I'll be using for my little bouquet. And to start this off, I'm going to create a little cone shape. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this into the center, and then I'll snip off one of the petals. And if you can see, I still have left that base part, so just snip that petal off at where it connects to the other petal. So now I'll bend this around. It'll create a little cone type shape. To secure this, I'll be using my glossy accents, and I keep a pin in my bottle just to make sure it stays nice and fluid. So just a little dot of glossy accents, and now I'll just press this around. So move that, and then I'll just pinch it off with my fingers and just hold that for a second so that that can grab, and you can see the cone shape. It makes this really cute little flower. I've had this idea in my head for so long, and I just wanted to make it. So there's my beginning of my flower. So now I've chosen a button to go in each of the center of the flowers that I have here. So I've chosen a button for all my little flowers, and I've kind of mixed up the colors between these nice muted tones. Push these out of the way. And to secure everything, I have these floral wires, and I love that it came with white paper covering. So I'm going to want to put my button through, and this is how it's going to be secured. But first I want to bend this, not quite in half. I want like one short end and one long end, as you can see when I go to thread this through. So I'll go ahead and thread that both through. And once I have that at the end of the button, I'll go ahead and give this a little bit of a twist. And this will secure the button in place. And so now I have a long and a short end. I want to poke a hole in the center of my flower, so I have my pokey tool here, and I also have a piece of plastic type styrofoam. It's like a padding that comes in the inside of a wallet. So go ahead and poke a hole into the center of that flower, right into the very center of that cone, and now I'll feed this wire through. And once I get it down to about the base, I'll go ahead and add a little bit of glossy accents again, just close to that hole, and this will keep that wire in place, and I'll let it dry and it'll be secure. So now I'll just go ahead and pull that tight, and I'll let this dry. And now that my flower has dried, I have the short end of the wire here, and I'm just going to pinch this off, and now I'm just going to wrap this around the long end of the wire, and this just creates a nice little thick area where the button won't slide either way, and I'll go ahead and pinch that up towards the paper, as you can see. And now I want to add like a little swirly vine. I have an old chopstick that I used to use for my hair when it was really long. You could use a paintbrush or something that's really kind of a fine tip end, and I'll go ahead and start wrapping this wire around. You could also use jeweler's needle nose pliers. That might work really well as well. So I'll just start rolling this wire to create the little spiral. Get that out of the way, and I'll just keep rolling up to the end and then pinch that off. So now I can adjust my little viney flower thing, and it turns out really cute. So I've created about 9 flowers in all, and I put them into a little skinny vase just to display on my kitchen table. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on how to make paper flowers. Thanks for watching.